Right, so this video takes place just after the Crick Boat Show, where we stop off at B&M to do a bit of shopping, but when we get there, we recognise someone. After that, we get back to the boat and decide to do an evening cruise down to Banbury.
I'm not being funny! I'm not being funny! God, he's deaf as a wombat! Get on to this, Roger.
We weren't going to come here. We were going straight back.
We just came to buy some
What are the odds?
Oh my god. So have you just been at Crick?
We just got back from Crick, Rog.
What a conscience.
I recognise that bike.
I went to Halfords.
That is just the
Wow,
weirdest
bizarre.
coincidence, isn't it?
We weren't even going to do it. It's a split. A last minute decision of Josh to come in and get a couple of bits.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I got to edit this vlog, innit?
Right, so this is the map of the UK Canal network. Everything in red is what we've cruised before. Now we're here, down on the South Oxford Canal, near Croppedy, and we're going to go through Banbury today. So we're going to start our cruise at the old dairy farm at Croppedy, make our way through the first 3 locks before Banbury, where we're more up for the night so I can upload this Crick vlog to go out tomorrow morning. Then the next day we'll head through Banbury and its lock, then down to the last lock of the day before we reach Twyford Wharf, where we're more up, making it about 7 miles and 5 locks. Let's do it.
you! Yeah, the white dog, I remember him. Hello, gorgeous. Hiya, darling.
When I got to this lock, I was quite surprised to see that someone was on it, but he wasn't on a boat.
Yeah, because it's quite close to Banbury, isn't it?
That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, we came for a couple of years ago. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be a lovely
Well,
cottage to run?
we got it sort of 90% ready to move into when some kids threw a load of rocks through the upstairs windows. And that sort of put my wife off moving in with the kids.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea of the time scale, the kids have got flats in Banbury now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's where all my effort's been going, but I've been getting those shutters on the upstairs windows today. I've discovered the brick aperture on one is wider than the other. I measured everything else. Those two windows are identical, but I've got to make a little fillet piece for each shutter.
Oh, yeah.
Only about 2 weeks after she came out of it, and we asked British Waterways could we rent it, and they said, oh no, it's going for auction because it has nothing.
Yeah.
No drainage.
Oh, right.
No water, no electricity.
Yeah.
They sort of got away with having her in there because she'd always been there.
Oh, okay, right.
Like always.
Yeah.
But we never got to hear of the auction, and the next thing we heard it was sold. The next thing, it was burnt out, and it was covered in manifold, green tarpaulins for a few years. Then British Waterways got in touch and said, it's coming up for auction, and I said, no, you've sold it. And they said, no, we still own it.
Oh.
What had happened is they'd sold it at auction, the couple had bought it, and they'd been handed the keys having given 10%, because that's what you have to do at an auction there and then, put down 10%. And this is other boaters have told us, they were along here for a week, and on Friday they disappeared in smoke started, and they set fire to it to get out of buying it.
Wow.
Their argument being, that's not what we did for.
They obviously lost their deposit, hopefully.
Well, they would have lost their deposit anyway. They needn't have set fire
But why
to it.
would you do that?
I don't know. Perhaps they were hoping to get their deposit back. That's what I've been told anyway.
Yeah.
This is sort of, wow. So it came up for auction and it was all burnt out, but the roof was intact.
Yeah.
And that was the saving grace of it. The roof was intact and everything else had been baked and burnt out.
Oh.
It sort of may have done us a favour in that all the lather plaster and stuff. It's a game of two halves, this house.
Yeah.
The early part was built with the canal.
Yeah.
See the join line?
Oh, yeah, in the middle,
Right.
yeah.
Well, everything to the south of that join line, the timbers are split laths and sawn lumber out of trees with tree shapes in the roof. You come this side of the line, which is the Victorian extension, if you like, and it's hand sawn straight proper timbers and sawn laths.
Yeah.
Nice to know the story behind this cottage now. I always thought it was like the one on the other side of Banbury, but it was burnt out much like that one too.
The ones I don't meet are the trouble.
See you later. Right,
And so begins the M40, the first appearance of many of this motorway. We go down the M40 a lot and it's quite fun to try and spot the Oxford Canal.
Come on, where's the arm?
I was briefly considering to moor up here, but with the lock fully on our side, I couldn't resist the temptation. The reason we've come to Banbury is because I had terrible internet where the boat was. I need to edit, upload and release the Crick vlog tonight.
Oh, we made it to 3 locks and a couple of miles out the way, so
Yeah.
only 2 to do tomorrow and 5 miles.
All on our own, on the pins.
We wanted to get on the Armco down there, but it's packed
Yeah.
because it's late. But we're practically in Banbury now, opposite the industrial estates, so we've got good internet so I can upload this Crick
We've
vlog.
got a bit less cruising tomorrow, haven't we?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Well, the next day we woke up and the weather was a bit miserable. So we let Dad lie in for a bit, but come 20 to 12 it was still pretty miserable, so we just decided to head off. Although we choose our moments, with a boat coming behind us and 2 in front. I wonder what this little old arm was used for. Probably some sort of wharf.
We're heading through Banbury now, it's the next day. Didn't know this rain was coming in. Lucky we did some of the cruise yesterday.
Yeah, horrible. All drizzly rain.
It's supposed to be stopping later, but we don't want to wait around. We want to get to the spot so me and Mum can cycle back and do what we need to do, and Dad can get on with some jobs. Only 2 locks.
Today, I don't think.
Stay with, you can do inside jobs.
Yeah, you could do the lock at the front door.
No, you can't. It's raining literally. But
And you
anyway,
could put Italy in the bedroom.
it's 5 miles and 2 locks. Get to the other side of Twyford Wharf.
This may look like a winding hole, but it was actually the original channel of the canal. The canal diverts here because of a new road that was built, and I'll show you where that comes out in a minute. As you can see, that's where the original canal would have come out. Now it's been turned into a private mooring arm. Better to do that than let it go to waste. As you can see, this used to be an old lift bridge here, but it looks like it's actually cheaper to put this in than an actual working lift bridge. You know what the ironic thing is? I was literally at Newark Priory editing this video. In 1769, the Oxford Canal passed Parliament And the intention of the canal was to link the industrial Midlands to London, of course, via the River Thames. Construction began shortly after, near Coventry. The principal engineer was, of course, James Brindley, but he died, unfortunately, in 1772, when the canal only reached Brinklow. By 1774, the canal had reached Napton, but the company was already running out of money. In 1775, a second act was passed, allowing the company to raise more funds to construct the rest of the canal. And construction began again in 1778, and the canal had then reached Banbury. But again, the canal company reached financial issues, and that meant work on the final stretch from Banbury to Oxford did not begin until 1786. James Barnes was then appointed engineer, and the funds were very limited, so the canal had to be built as cheap as possible to Oxford. This meant lots of lift bridges had to be built instead of big expensive brick ones, as we can see so many down this section. It also meant that locks, past the one in Banbury, would use 2 single gates at both ends instead of double gates. It also meant the canal would share the channel with the River Cherwell. This is so it saved them a lot of money in constructing a new canal. But the consequences of this can still be felt today when obviously we have a lot of rain, the Cherwell goes on flood and a lot of people can get trapped. But the Oxford Canal finally reached the outskirts of Oxford in 1789, and the final section into the centre of Oxford was opened on the 1st of January 1790, finally living up to its name as the Oxford Canal. Above the lock there is a water point, and below the lock there is. Luckily no one's on it, and there's rubbish down here, so we're going to stop on there, get some water, get rid of the rubbish. You'll notice a lot of these narrowings, and these are the remains of an old lift bridge that no longer requires access.
Yeah, we just hit something then. Feel it?
No, look at that towpath.
I can't get off.
Terrible.
You can get off. Just here you can get off.
I can't. This is water here.
No, right past this sycamore tree.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm looking at. I'll bring it in right past this sycamore tree. It's a nice bit of towpath.
Bizarre.
Yeah, but that's when I go up and put it on.
Right.
This is ridiculous, this weather. For some reason she wants to walk back today, not...
She's seen the towpath, and the towpath's terrible. It's got paranoia from falling in almost.
You're over to nature now or something?
can't help but wonder why this bridge was not built as a lift bridge.
That night, and then I ended up doing the DJ.
Thankfully this other high boat waited for us to come through, because if they didn't we would have had to reverse and that would have kicked the front out, blocking the navigation. And here's the other lockkeeper's cottage, which is the other side of Banbury. Not in such a nice state as the other one. Sadly, not much was being done with it. There were many hands on deck at this lock because there was about 5 boats at the bottom waiting to come up. Because the big old lock gate, this is the first one that goes to a single lock gate, appeared to be getting stuck. This boat was struggling to get out.
Oh god.
Could have done with that.
The lock gate did it again, but with a lot of people pushing it back, we did manage to get out in the end. But there are now 2 boats waiting to go down and 5 waiting to go up, thanks to that one inconvenience of the lock gate.
Boats in a row. No.
I reckon she's probably halfway now.
Got him going.
Great.
Yeah, I know. And a quarter of a mile. And there's Armco. Oh, bugger me, there's Armco. Come on. Come on, tube.
Right, one of my cakes. Well, it's quite a long time actually. Made these about 4 days ago. Hello?
Something like that.
Big
I don't know
over.
why they go out of date. It's trouble when you make your own food. Anyway, we're moored up now. So,
Yeah, I think it's lucky I walked really because it was
Yeah.
the tow bar. There's, you know, the one I fell in the other day. There's loads like that along the tow bar. So I think the bikes would have just gone into
Yeah, but
it.
you would have thought Banbury Council,
Yeah.
whatever they are, would have upgraded the tow paths like most other villages.
And it's awful
towns.
around there. It really is.
But they don't. And it's even worse as well further along. And yeah, it wouldn't have been very good cycling out. So my mum.
No, and the thing is, I don't. At the moment, my bike's a bit the tyre. Once the things the tyre is straight. We'll be able to have a back brake, but my front brake's dodgy. I've got no back brake, and after what happened, and then he broke my nose. I'm not over keen on getting on it. And like the tow path is a bit like where I fell off. It's quite, you know, you've got the canal right there, so it's quite small. But
Walking was the best thing, but Mum did it there because we cut off a couple of miles, and I had to go and help Dad with the next lock, which was a bit of a nightmare. Well, Dad could have gone through on his own because there's that many people there.
oh, was there?
Yeah.
What, helping?
No, what happened is we got to the lock. That boat that dropped the women off to get rid of the rubbish
Yeah.
was there, waiting to
Oh.
go down. Even though we passed about 3 or 4 boats
Monty.
coming that way.
It's called Monty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passed about 3 or 4 boats, I thought they would have been through, and there was a boat coming out. And then I go and help them down, and then because it goes back to, well, it goes to 2 like locks, gates either end, not 2 at the bottom, because the history of this canal, which I probably explained. But yeah, it's just 1 big gate at the bottom instead of 2, so they pushed it open, and then it didn't go fully back. So they tried going out, they got squished,
Oh no.
or they got jammed. So we reversed back, and then loads of us tried to push it. And,
Oh no, I've missed a bit of a
Yeah.
drama then. Oh.
and at this
Didn't
point
miss
there was
out.
4 boats at the bottom waiting to come
no.
up,
God.
and 2 waiting to go down.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh, blimey.
so we had to get it done, and then we held it back, and then they managed to squeeze out. So then we filled up the lock. Well, our boat came in, we filled up the lock, and then they went out. We tried to go in, and we went down, and then they pushed the gate open for us.
You find out what was behind it, or
No,
Oh.
and it still didn't open fully. But we come through the bridge and see if we can get a spot, and we found a nice little strip of Armco here. But it's a little bit closer to the M40, and it's quite a significant hum.
It's a nice spot, but as soon as I sort of was like 50 yards away, I thought, oh,
You still hear it down there.
it's like, you know, like the hum, just a continuous hum. So hopefully, try and put my earplugs in tonight, and
We'll
hopefully
only be until Thursday.
won't hear it. But it's not too bad at night. But you still have lorries and things going at night, but it's not as bad. So fingers crossed. I've got my earplugs in.
Anyway, we are going to cruise to Somerton next time. Somerton Common. Lovely place with no hedgerow. It's just a field of cows. A bit like being on a river. And
Yeah,
then
a bit like Lechlade.
we'll probably head to Pigeon's Lock.
Oh, Pigeon's Lock.
Yeah, it's hopefully the Anho down there. Is it Anho? Just past the big.
That's where that
big
nice
place?
house is.
Yeah.
On the right hand side, yeah.
Hopefully that's not going to be on flood.
That's
the
where
first
a
river section.
superstar used to live or something, isn't there?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, there used to be a singer or something used to live
Yeah.
there. That's what I was told.
Anyway, like, subscribe, and see you next time.
Thank you for watching.